And this week saw the release of a new book paying tribute to Australia's great race callers of the past and the present. Ken Howard's famous phrase, "London to a brick," is the title.
Without a doubt, it's Australia's most famous phrase in racing.
Every stride, and they split the line. Camera, this time of the outcome, you can bet London to a brick on Broker's step.
Ken Howard was the voice of Australian racing for nearly 30 years, and his famous catch cry of betting London to a brick on in a photo finish has now been immortalised in print, with a book profiling the men behind the microphone.
I've always had this great appreciation for the race callers of Australia, and I think, like a lot of good things in Australia, we take them for granted. I think it's about time we did something about it.
The pioneer of modern-day race callers was Ike Treloar, who created a world first when he called the Port Adelaide Gallops on radio in 1924. Since then, legends of the airwaves like Cyril Engels, Joe Brown and Bert Bright have all left indelible impressions on the punting public. And like all good protégés, one never forgets the master.
I can remember in my early years, and I'm more than happy to admit, that I was a third-rate imitation of Ken Howard. I didn't mean to be, that's simply the way it came out.
But it's no wonder that race callers have long been regarded as the punter's pal. Whilst the professionals of the 90s are welcomed with open arms, their peers beforehand had to endure court battles and primitive conditions of trees and the backs of trucks, in fact any elevated position, to make certain the broadcast would get to the punters.
In one case, Ken Howard called a meeting in Victoria from a hydrogen balloon.
The launch of London to a Brick On also saw one of the largest gatherings of the cliché kings, and with our race callers still recognised as being the best in the world, for some, recognising voices was much easier.
Well, I don't think people realise that many of us don't get to meet each other. And there's a few people here today that I've been speaking to for 20 years, never ever met. And today I've had that opportunity.
But the man who wears the crown as Australia's oldest race caller is 74-year-old Ray Conroy. The memories of Ken Howard and London to a Brick On as fresh as a daisy.
Without a doubt, one of the greatest all-time callers I've ever heard.
And you can bet London to a Brick On, the book or into the punters' Christmas stockings.